Hey guys, this is One Hoof, the helicopter guy. Welcome to my channel. If you're ready, let's talk about helicopters. The American Aircraft Corporation Penetrator. Hey guys, welcome back. In my previous video, I was highlighting the American Aircraft Corporation Stealthstar light attack helicopter that was based on the Army's OH-58C Kiowa helicopter. The Stealthstar was an independent project from the American Aircraft Corporation. It's important to note that the American Aircraft Corporation's Stealthstar proposed light attack helicopter, despite its innovative design and all-composite airframe, was completely independent and had nothing to do with the United States Army's official governmental contract competition for the new light helicopter experimental attack helicopter between the Super Team and the First Team. The Super Team was comprised of Bell Helicopter and McDonnell Douglas teaming up to make the light helicopter experimental. The First Team was comprised of Boeing and Sikorsky. In April 1991, the Army awarded the First Team, Boeing and Sikorsky, a $2.8 billion contract to complete 6 LHX prototypes. And it was at this time that the Army gave the First Team's LHX design the official designation as the RH-66 Comanche. But I'll go into more detail about the LHX competition at a later time in another video. The American Aircraft Corporation's Stealthstar design was very innovative, but it may not have been plausible because of its small size. But at the same time, the American Aircraft Corporation was also working on a larger stealthy prototype called the Penetrator, which was based on the Bell UH-1B Huey, or model number 204. Like the much smaller Stealthstar, the Penetrator had a very sleek, angular, stealthy-looking, all-composite fuselage. The experimental Penetrator helicopter prototype made its first test flight in 1991. In the beginning, as you can see, the Penetrator had a very pointy nose, but later in its development, it was given a much rounder and blunter nose. On July 22, 1990, I had the privilege of meeting the people who work for American Aircraft Corporation at the Dayton International Airshow with their static display of their smaller, stealthy-looking Stealthstar light attack helicopter. The following month, in early August, I received a large envelope with several pamphlets in it, giving detailed descriptions of all their different aircraft, specifically the smaller Stealthstar and the larger Penetrator helicopter based on the UH-1B Huey. This is what the American Aircraft Corporation wrote in their description of the Penetrator helicopter. Penetrator, caught in a catch-22 of mammoth proportions. Military forces worldwide are faced with new wars and old helicopters. The technology they rely on is 20 to 30 years out of date, with designs that offer inadequate performance, no resistance to small arms fire, and unintegrated weapons packages. Third world military forces are particularly ill-equipped to fight today's conflicts, including worldwide terrorism, hostage crises, border conflicts, and low-intensity warfare, because they too rely on outdated technology. Vietnam vintage helicopters that share obsolescence, redundancy, poor aerodynamic performance, ballistics vulnerability, and no weapons. American Aircraft Corporation offers its newly remanufactured, reconfigured helicopters to meet today's air-land battle threats by incorporating the emerging technologies of the last 2 decades into its design. American Aircraft Corporation can now offer a series of newly remanufactured and reconfigured helicopters that meet the reality of today's air-land battle threats. One of American Aircraft Corporation's newest helicopters is the Penetrator, which is a shock assault lift, all-composite gunship with a troop lift capability for a squad of 10 soldiers. It uses the Huey's very successful rudder system and powertrain as a base, but gives it a new high-performance aerodynamic shape through innovative design. The basic model is an all-composite, compounded helicopter with a gross takeoff weight of 9,500 pounds. Gone are the protuberances that bristle from helicopters of familiar design, such as exposed oleo landing gear struts, skids, lap-jointed aluminum structures with exposed rounded rivets, flat plates, round tubes, and sandpaper-like finishes. The Penetrator is designed to operate as a high-performance airplane rather than a flying Christmas tree. Finally, the aircraft's aerodynamic fuselage minimizes profile drag, and its wings and elevator unload the rotors during forward flight. The Penetrator itself is a full monocoque all-composite structure with hard points located under the wings. The weapons pods, rather than the blunt end types currently in use, are also aerodynamic free forms. To reduce drag, all the machine guns, cannons, and some rocket launchers are carried internally. The Penetrator's aerodynamic configuration, high fineness ratio, aerodynamic free form, all composite structure, and internally stored weapons make it the cleanest and fastest of any contemporary helicopter. While performance breakthroughs achieved by the Soviet Mi-24 Hind D set the standard for the Penetrator, this high-performance compounded helicopter out-Hinds the Hind. It commands more cooperative firepower by allowing 360 degrees perimeter capability and greater speed, range, agility, and endurance. Its sleek, multifaceted shape also presents a smaller target with a less observable signature in radar, infrared, acoustic, and visual ranges. With these advantages, the Penetrator ensures greater survivability for its crew and troops in combat. Currently, contemporary helicopters have only forward-firing weapons and forward-facing eyeballs. In the 75 years of air combat history, more than 80% of the vanquished never saw the victor, because the defeated pilot was shot from the tail cone. This is why winnable helicopters today require the addition of rear-facing weapons operators with a cooperative array of rear-facing firing ordnance that will counter threats to the aircraft's vulnerable tail cone. The Penetrator offers this feature. It uses the 2-seat tandem of the Bell Cobra helicopter, only reversed. The pilot is positioned in the first seat for unobstructed vision that is denied him in the Cobra. The forward-firing weapons operator is in the second in-tandem seat. The third and fourth weapons operators are in seats aft the main cabin to control rear-facing weapons. The tandem forward weapons operator has 2 machine guns, a 20mm cannon, 2 forward-firing 37mm rocket pods, 4 missiles, and launch tubes for 8 missiles. The aft weapons operators in the rear-facing bubbles have 220 degrees azimuth swiveling machine guns. This firepower allows the Penetrator to perform as an excellent shock assault troop lift gunship with air-to-air, air-to-ground, and ground-to-ground capability. The Penetrator is a bristling troop lift gunship, has 360 degrees of perimeter firepower for the assault at the landing zone, as well as for air-to-air threats, whether head-on or from the tail cone, plus or minus 45 degrees, from as far away as 3 kilometers to 5 kilometers. The aircraft's weapons operators can meet any threat from either the port, starboard, or tail cone of the aircraft with their 4 machine guns. This ordnance responsiveness of the Penetrator exists for air-to-air combat as well as for close air support in contact with hostile troops and armor. The addition of the Penetrator's troop lift capability of a 10-man squad of soldiers, heavy ordnance of massive firepower capabilities, puts the Penetrator in a class second to none. It is truly a massive firepower shock assault lift gunship designed and built with the ability to win. The American Aircraft Corporation Penetrator was a fascinating concept, but what ultimately happened to it? And why was it never developed? And where is it today? In order to answer these questions, we have to ask, who was this aircraft being developed for and marketed to? It's purported that the American Aircraft Corporation was designing the Penetrator attack helicopter to market it to South Korea to satisfy their need for a gunship and troop carrier, addressing the northern threat of the Mi-24 Hind D in North Korea. On November 9, 1989, the world celebrated when the Berlin Wall fell, and the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union seemed to come to an end. Then, in 1990, Mikhail Gorbachev declared a truce with the rest of the world with his perestroika. This was to the detriment of the American Aircraft Corporation because North Korea was no longer an extreme threat with the Mi-24 Hind D to South Korea, and ultimately the American Aircraft Corporation fell into insolvency. The Penetrator was successfully test flown for the first time in October of 1991. But with the end of the Cold War and no market to sell, the Penetrator sat in storage for over a decade. Then eventually a man named Robert Laura decided to buy the Penetrator and completely overhaul it. It is Robert Laura who changed the nose of the Penetrator from being a pointy, stealthy-looking nose to the more rounded, blunt nose that you've seen here in the photos. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Laura also wanted to put his mark on the Penetrator aircraft. He changed the name to the Aerocraft Stealthstar 204 SS. It got the designation 204 because it was based on the Bell Model 204 Huey. But eventually, even Lieutenant Colonel Robert Laura lost interest in developing his Penetrator attack helicopter. For several years, this unique prototype helicopter could be seen along the back fence at the Long Beach Airport, just off of the 405 highway. Obviously, it's no longer in airworthy condition, and it was eventually bought and put on display at tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum at the Woodley Airport in Compton, California. If you would like to see the Penetrator helicopter in person, you can visit tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum, located at 961 West Alondra Boulevard in Compton, California. The Penetrator helicopter prototype is prominently displayed outside along the fence line. The fascinating thing is the Bell 222 Airwolf replica that Stephen Stahl built for the Helicopter Museum in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, is only 125 feet away at tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum. So, if you're ever in Southern California, not only can you check out the fascinating American Aircraft Corporation Penetrator attack helicopter, but you can also see Steven Stull's amazing replica of Airwolf. Well guys, that's it for this video. Of course, this video contained a lot of marketing information directly from the American Aircraft Corporation. And in my next video, I would like to give you my honest assessment of both the Stealthstar light attack helicopter and the Penetrator attack helicopter. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.